What happens when these coping mechanisms, when things that give people comfort are, then used, grouped together and pushed in other directions outside the space of the individual and what he or
Yeah.
she needs from religion? How do I, as an individual, guard myself against that?
See, politics is about mobilization of power. So
Yeah.
that's politics. So if I want to get power, I have to mobilize power. Where is power? Power with people. How do I mobilize people? I mobilize people using various technologies.
Mhm.
Um, and sometimes rational, sometimes not very rational.
Yeah.
Storytelling is a very powerful. That's why speeches are so powerful.
Yeah.
Hitler could give a speech and mobilize people to wipe out another group of people. Media, therefore, is always controlled by politicians because they want to control the discourse and shape the way you think. And what they do is they feed on your insecurities. When you talk about the deracinated Indian, remember this scientific Indian, which we were told that we're all going to be scientific and mathematical, in a way mocked religious traditions
Hmm.
and made fun of people who went to temples and did their whatever religious thing they would do. I've seen people attending weddings and making fun of wedding ceremonies and saying, oh, what is this foolish? What is happening today around the world is this rational mind, which was contemptuous of religion, is facing a backlash
Hmm.
across the world.
Hmm.
Science said we'll solve all the problems of the world. They created antibiotics, they created steam engines, they created computers, they created electricity. But that doesn't take away human insecurity or inequality. Germany is one of the most rational countries in the world. It has super inequality, as much inequality as India does. So just being rational and scientific doesn't make you a good person.
Hmm.
And it doesn't make you generous and kind and compassionate. Science cannot make you generous, kind, and compassionate. And that is something that people forget. And what is happening around the world is what is called the left movement, which claimed to be rational, is being pushed back, saying that we don't want you. So you have Islamic resurgence, Christian resurgence, and in its vilest form, unfortunately, not even in the enlightened forms of these religions. It's
And
really
Hindu
the
resurgence. And Hindu
and Hindu
resurgence.
resurgence is happening, and Buddhist resurgence is happening.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thought of Buddhism as this
Yeah.
very a non-violent
And
religion
then
until
Sri
suddenly they
Lanka.
saw
Yeah.
Burma and
Yeah.
they saw Sri
Burma.
Lanka.
Yeah. Yeah.
And suddenly the West was like, oh, Buddha, man, it's so nice. And then they realized they were people, they're ordinary people fighting. Buddhist monks on the streets revolting with guns, and they were like, oh my God, this is not the way Aung San Suu Kyi has to behave because, we have decided how Buddhists are supposed to behave. And I remember the anger with her when she was negotiating with the Janta because she was dealing with real problems of political problems. And the outrage of the morally upright West, which is now, of course, supporting genocide. So, you see, this is what happened when you start making fun of traditional beliefs which have been around for thousands of years for a reason, because you've never understood them. Rather than understanding them, you mocked them.
Hmm.
Now they're back
Hmm.
because what you promised did not deliver.
Hmm.
You did not deliver the promise. In fact, you made things worse. I see the technocrats around the world trying to save the world using big data and artificial intelligence. And I'm like, oh my God, these boys with toys really are so dumb. Because, I engage with some of them and you just are shocked at how stupid they are. But politicians seem to understand human condition. Unfortunately, they manipulate it. They see it as power which I can use. So,
So how does a religious person who understands what religion is offering him or her guard against being manipulated? Is there any thought you have on
yeah, that's a very difficult thing. See, that is Ravan, right? Ravan understands people, but the seduction of power is very strong. So you'll see many Gurujis begin by saying wonderful things.
that?
Once you become popular,
Hmm.
like one day you are doing tweets and you're doing these Facebook updates and you start getting likes and suddenly you have 1 million followers.
Hmm.
After some time, now you want to keep the 1 million followers with you,
Yeah.
and you start doing pandering to the gallery and you
Hmm.
forget what your job is.
Hmm.
And you start saying, it's like Ram saying that I must do things to make people happy. And the price is paid because the people say, we don't think your wife should be the queen of Ayodhya.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
you listen to people,
Hmm.
rather than sort of maybe step in, you have to pay a price. Your children will go, an innocent woman is sent to the forest. Children are sitting in the forest, and you are sitting in the palace alone. And this is what they're saying. Be careful of, I have to take care of people. So now they will decide how I should live my life. And that's what happens to most Gurujis. They can't be honest after some time. They start saying things that will make the audience happy.
Mm.
And you're not allowed to give them the bitter pill. You're not allowed them to shake them up. You're not allowed to challenge them. You get seduced by your own fame, your glory, and you get, the private jet and all the Guruji, namaste. And it's a very seductive thing. I have been there. I see it. It's so easy to fall prey to it. But then you have to decide what you want in life. You want to live your life for yourself, or do you want to sort of fall prey to this? And I think that's a challenge. That's the Apsara dancing around you, saying that, come my way, I'll give you happiness. And we all know the Tapasvi has to struggle. So the Tapasvi Raja has to deal with Ramrajya. And that's the story. Tapasvi Raja on one side, but Ram Rajya mein tap hota hai ki nahi? Do the people get? And this is what Valmiki, in a way, very beautifully through stories, is making us think about. He doesn't give you a prescription, he
Sure.
gives you a description.
Yeah.